Hi Filipino learners! My name is JC. Kamusta kayo? Welcome to lesson 12 of our ultimate Tagalog course. In today's video, I'm going to give you an introduction to Tagalog verbs. We are not discussing conjugation or how to form the past, present, and future tenses just yet. For now, I will just ask you to expand your vocabulary when it comes to Tagalog verbs. My suggestion is that you learn the infinitive forms of the verbs first. Like for example, kumain means to eat, matulog means to sleep, magluto means to cook. And just by looking at it, you will be able to determine, oh, this one is a UM verb, while this one is a ma verb. This one is a mag verb. And from there, you will be able to determine what to do to get the root verbs and how to conjugate them. That is if you watch the succeeding lessons in this series, because after this lesson, we will be discussing verb conjugation. Well, enough about that. Let us dive into today's lesson. In this video, we will learn when you should use these three tenses: Perpektibo, Imperpektibo, and Kontemplatibo. First, let us start with Imperpektibo. I will give you 5 instances where you should be using this tense in Tagalog. First is to describe what is currently happening or an action that is happening right now. Halimbawa, naglalakad ako papuntang opisina. Kumakain ako ngayon. Second instance where you can use imperpektibo is when you are describing what you do or your current profession or job. Halimbawa, nagtuturo ako sa pampublikong paaralan. Nagsusulat ako ng mga nobela. Another instance where you could use imperpektibo is when you are describing something that is habitual or repeated actions. Halimbawa, nagbabasa ako ng mga libro. So when you say nagbabasa ako ng mga libro or I read books, you meant it's something that you do repeatedly, not just once, but it's a hobby that you do. Another example is tumatakbo ako tuwing umaga. Same goes with this one. It is a repeated action. It's something that you do every morning. Umuuwi ako sa probinsya tuwing Pasko. And on our third example, again, it's something habitual. So it's something that you do, an action that you do every Christmas. The fourth instance where you can use imperpektibo is when you are describing an ongoing action that happened in the past, especially if the action was interrupted by another action. I will give you some examples. Natutulog ako nang tumawag siya. So the verb that's in the imperpektibo or present tense in this example is this one, okay? Natutulog is the action that is ongoing before it got interrupted by another action. Isa pang halimbawa, nag-uusap sila kagabi nang dumating ako. Now, how about this one? So, the verb that is in the imperpektibo tense is nag-uusap. So, they were talking. So, it's an ongoing action before it got interrupted when I arrived. And lastly, you can use imperpektibo when describing an ongoing action that started in the past but has not yet been completed. Halimbawa, 5 taon na siyang nag-aaral ng Tagalog. He or she has been studying Tagalog for 5 years now. It started in the past, but it's still ongoing. It has not been completed yet. He hasn't stopped studying Tagalog. Isa pang halimbawa, 3 buwan na siyang hindi nagbabayad ng renta. He or she hasn't been paying his rent for 3 months now. So, it started in the past. It started 3 months ago when he stopped paying his rent, but it's still ongoing. He still hasn't paid his rent up until now. And the next one, 2 oras na kaming nag-aantay sa pila. We have been waiting in line for 2 hours. So again, it started in the past. It started 2 hours ago, but it's still ongoing. We are still waiting in line. So for these instances, the verbs that you will use is imperpektibo or present tense in Tagalog. Now, let us talk about perpektibo or past tense. So I will give you 2 instances where you can use perpektibo. First is when you are describing an action that was completed already, just like how you would use past tense in English. Halimbawa, nagluto ako ng adobo kagabi. I cooked adobo last night. So the action was completed in the past. Another example, nanood siya ng pelikula. He or she watched a movie. So although I didn't specify the exact time that the action was completed, unlike in my previous example, but the fact that I used perpektibo or past tense implies that this action was completed already. Okay, another instance where you can use perpektibo or past tense is describing a continuous action that happened in the past for a duration of time. So this means that this is no longer happening right now. Halimbawa, nagtrabaho ako sa ospital ng 3 taon. I worked at a hospital for 3 years. So this was something that you used to do in the past. Another example, tumira siya sa Maynila ng 10 taon. He or she lived in Manila for 10 years. So this person lived in Manila, but that was in the past. It's no longer happening right now. And finally, let us talk about kontemplatibo or future tense. So this one is simple. You use this when you are describing an action that will take place in the future, just like in English. Halimbawa, magpapakasal sila sa susunod na buwan. Pupunta ako sa ospital mamaya. Balang araw, bibili ako ng bagong bahay. Well, there you go. I understand that I have discussed a lot of information in this video. I would suggest that you rewatch this lesson once you have watched the succeeding lessons that I will upload about verb conjugations. That way, you can also try forming your own sentences following the pattern of the examples that I have given you in this lesson.